by viewers watching this, listening to our coverage, that it's unfair that she's accused of these crimes. Granted, we know she's presumed innocent, but that being accused of these, that she's gotten the things she's requested. And there are two things viewers point to. Number one, the separation of the cases. So Chad and Lori Vallow-Daybell's cases not being heard together as was originally planned. And number two, the granting of the motion to not allow cameras or media in the courtroom. And so some people are saying, even though she's presumed innocent, this doesn't seem reasonable that she's getting all these things she's requesting. But what's your legal response to that?
Well, you know, she and her attorneys have set forth the basis as why to receive these perks, if you will, that her husband is not receiving. The judge obviously bought into that. I think that goes and will inure to her benefit and help her defense. Because if she was sitting at the defense table with her husband, having to essentially sit there and listen to the evidence, it's almost like if they convict him, they convict her. If they convict her, they convict him. Instead, she's going to have her own clean shot at justice, if you will, whatever that turns out at being. And the fact that she's not having the cameras in the courtroom should lessen, if you will, the public exposure and allow the jury to just focus in on the testimony and not have kind of the media distraction that sometimes comes from the constant attention and coverage. So I think it'll inure to her benefit. If I'm her criminal defense team, I'm happy that we got those rulings. If I'm her husband, I'm disgruntled, and I'm thinking to myself, this is 2 levels of justice, and it's unfair.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective to look at it from Chad Daybell's perspective. And, you know, is he going to testify against her? Of course, we don't know any of these things, but that's why one of the reasons I think legally it is such a trial to follow, to watch, to see how all of this unfolds. You're both